Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the Stepson of Krypton,
And I'm Mantis.
and today we are going over some new rumors that have come out about the DCU and some of James Gunn's responses to them, and some of people's reactions to not only the news but James Gunn's responses to them. And it's going to be crazy. We'll get all through it. It's been a couple of months since we've had any good DCU rumors. We knew it was time. So, Mantis, are you ready to get on into it?
Yes.
All right, guys, then let's just go ahead and go. All right, guys. So we know after Superman released on streaming and to DVD that we had kind of a lull. We had some quiet time. It was doing really, really well. So then there weren't people doing a whole lot of rumors. Now that it's kind of died off again, of course, the rumors start right back up. Except this time, the rumor came from Zack Snyder. Mantis, do you want to go over what all that started?
Look, I don't even. I mean, I guess it's kind of a rumor. I think he's just stirring the pot. And look, good on Zack Snyder because we're not stupid. He's not stupid. Even if it drums up people's, I don't want to say this is like any PR is good PR type thing because it kind of riles up all the Snyderverse people, right? But you know, Zack Snyder tweeting out a tweet that with a picture of Henry Cavill is Superman, right?
So
Yeah.
I want to say one thing real quick. Mantis is 100% right. I did not mean to try to mislead anybody. Zack Snyder didn't start say any rumors. It's the what he's alluded to started all these other rumors. So please,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he tweets out a picture of Henry Cavill and then he says, Henry or Henry Cavill still Superman, right? Or
He-
he is Superman.
yeah.
I yeah, we know that. You directed Superman movies and Henry Cavill was in them. This is true. Um, he's not still Superman now in the new DCU. I I think everyone understands this. Again, this is good PR on his side. I don't know. Maybe he owed a bet to someone. Maybe he just likes to see people just fight on the internet, which is kind of funny. Like, I mean, we kind of enjoy that too. So I'm here for it. We're here for it to talk about it for sure because it's going to hopefully strip some nonsense in the comment section of our video. I think it's hilarious. And yeah.
Well, so the interesting thing is it comes at a very odd time, right? Because obviously we know that 2025 Superman, James Gunn's Superman, however you want to refer to it, it wasn't the box office smash success grossing over $1 billion that I think a lot of people were hoping for. And just absolutely, setting that tone. And then of course there's been this kind of letdown with what happened at the end of the Peacemaker season 2, where it just kind of like, are we on this kind of downward trajectory, right? And then when you see something like this, everybody jumps on it and it's like, yeah, it's because of how bad he's doing. The DCU's failing and they're gonna bring back the Snyderverse. Okay, sure. You keep believing that. You go to the universe with John Cena and you believe it over there all you fucking want to. But it's another aspect I think that has made things kind of uncertain. And James Gunn has actually even said about this himself, is that obviously we know that Warner Brothers Discovery is have put themselves up for sale. And we know that
Mhm.
Paramount has is one of several large companies. I think Paramount, and I know Cadmus Media Group put in a bid, but Paramount, I think they upped their last bid to like $24 a share. So they're like the top contender, I think, for the sale and potential purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery. And of course, we had, what was it? Disney bought Hulu. We have these couple of companies just buying up these larger properties, right? So if whether it be Paramount or Cadmus Media Group were to purchase the WB Discovery, like what would happen? Is the fate of the DCU still intact because of that, or would they just say, "You know what, dude, we're wiping the slate clean. We're getting rid of all that," or could we bring back the DCEU? I mean, it would be up to them at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they could if they wanted to. yeah, I was gonna bring up Warner Brothers Discovery going up for sale. Um, and yeah, you snuck in, stole my thunder there.
But you kind of ruined the whole thing.
But it's a good point because anything can happen. Like, because again, you say it comes at an odd time. I mean, realistically, this is a perfect time for Jane or for Zack Snyder to throw this shit out there, right? We're going to talk about. We already did video on how our opinion of Peacemaker was kind of.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my. Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite term. Yeah,
So
it's kind of yeah.
I'm just walking all over your thunder today. I'm sorry.
Let's go fuck myself. Sorry, what?
Mahalo.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. But so yeah, you know, with the Superman, like you said, Superman 25 not doing well, or not doing well at least in the eyes of the shareholders, right? And as well as the Zack Snyder fans, because they, of course, it's going to suck because anything it's not Zack Snyder is going to suck. And then, yeah, the I won't say uncertain, but it does kind of feel uncertain as far as some of the very recent announcements that James Gunn has come out with about, which we already knew one, which was they're not going to do. There's a very slim chance that there's actually any more Peacemaker seasons. Probably a spinoff of to something of the effect of Checkmate, something like that, which we've already discussed. I just don't think that I hate that idea of it. Just I hate it. No, I'm not going to care. Just won't care about it. Unfortunately. But also, they canceled. We just found this out yesterday or this morning that Arkham Asylum series got canceled. Which is, could Matt Reeves possibly pick that up? We don't know. I think that would be a good idea, especially if they are going to do a split, something like that. You could throw Arkham Asylum animated or a series to Matt Reeves in there. There's some changes from The Brave and the Bold, where the original storyline of that kind of has gotten changed. And again, all these, I think that script actually he's had from the beginning of what he wanted to do. So it's been a while. Like, we got to keep thinking, like, when James Gunn took over, I can't remember when, but it's been like 3 years at least, around that, maybe 4. I can't remember when he actually took over, but I mean, it's been a while. So there's some it feels like it's just a lot of bad news lately. So I think it's funny. And again, everyone knows on here how Snyder fans are. And this is the funny thing. There are Snyder fans, like, let's just say this happened. Let's just say it happened. Let's say there's a split, okay? And Zack Snyder does you know, get his he can make the Snyderverse back or start with Henry Cavill again. And you have two concurrent things going or something. Is that, I know we said it with, if that happened with Batman, that's why we didn't think that they do Brave and Bold at the same time as Matt Reeves Batman, because we didn't want to have two at the same time. Dude, I don't give a shit. I'm an adult. I can follow two different storylines. I mean, fuck. Look at our like comic book series. Like, trying to keep all that shit straight is wild as fuck. You know.
Yeah, but I think
So
the general population can't, right? Or they don't want to. It gets too confusing because you've seen it with people when they talk about the Supermans and stuff. They're like, "There's too many characters. There's too much to follow." Your average person that's not not a nerd, like us, like it's too much for them, right? And I think if Paramount or Kevin Media Group is to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, I feel like they're gonna nix one of them. Like, they're gonna say, "Hey, you know what? We're not doing these two. Like, we need to. If you're gonna do that, you need to put all your focus on this universe." And not, oh, we're running these multiple concurrents, because the last thing I think any of us want to see is I don't want to see any more crossovers where this universe is going to cross into this one. Just focus on one damn universe and make it good, right? You're not even making the one good right now. Why are you trying to branch off into multiple others, right? As like a fail-safe backup plan that if you fuck this one up, you say, oh, we'll just get the people from this one and bring them over to this one, kill these ones off, and we still got a Batman and he's cool. No, like, just focus on the one universe. Like, I think the whole Brave and the Bold's where you need to go. Cut out the Batman 2, cut out all of that. You already fucked up the Joker, so clearly you already shown you guys can't do fucking sequels on the universe. So get rid of that. Focus on the Brave and the Bold and the DCU. I know there's been a lot of people, and that's kind of leads into everything we're talking about here of that where I think people are struggling right now is, Creature Commandos was the first of the DCU franchise coming out in the cartoon form, and it was very adult. It was definitely not made for kids. But then we had this very wholesome, heartfelt, saving freaking squirrels Superman come out here who touched everybody's heart in a very appropriate way, not an inappropriate way. There's no inappropriate touching. And then we have the inappropriate touching in Peacemaker season 2, where there's orgies and things like that. And people were like, that's such a dramatic shift, right? Like, how are you going to bring them together? And realistically, you weren't ever, right? That was the whole point. And that's why I believed you were never going to see Superman in Peacemaker. Figured to be Lex, but you weren't going to see Superman because he's too wholesome to bring him into like why I don't ever believe. I know supposedly there's rumor of Deadpool being in Avengers Doomsday. I don't think you're going to bring him in with all your core Avengers, especially bringing like Steve Rogers back, because you don't want to mesh those two together. You can't the grossly vulgar and perverted with your wholesome good. But
Yeah, well, and you're right, because just using Deadpool as an example, right? If they did that, you would have to take out the core being of Deadpool. Because if he's in there, he can't be himself, right? He'd have to be some stripped down. The jokes aren't hitting like they do because you can't say those. You wouldn't want to say those jokes. You wouldn't want to make fun of those things. He can't be who Deadpool is. Or and then he'll just be a cameo type situation. Or in the case of like what happened in Superman, Christopher Smith's just on a TV doing an interview, and there's nothing. He's not doing what Christopher Smith does. And you're right. Like it just even the Peacemaker show being in the same universe feels weird. Like it's like I don't I don't understand how this is happening in the same universe. It just feels really weird.
well, and that's kind of like with Creature Commandos with the monsters, Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. You had all them, right?
Mhm.
But we didn't see anything like realistically other than Ultraman, Superman, and the Engineer. We didn't really see any other Metamorpho that weren't locked up by Lex, like out in the normal space. We really didn't see any other metahumans that we really
Yeah.
came across, right? Everybody was either locked up or part of the Justice Gang, just a placeholder, or whatever. But it's like where are these groups? Where's this? Where all these monsters and creatures and things like that? So, like, I get you're wanting to try to make them all this in the same universe, but it honestly seemed like you put out 3 different universes and you
Yeah.
actually tied them together. So maybe that'll stop. Maybe after because the odd thing is, Creature Commandos was one of the highest rated shows when it released, audience and critic scores. Peacemaker had the same thing. Critic scores, audience scores were doing great. They did take a kind of a little
Mhm.
dive, but and then of course Superman has done very very well. So like audience and critic scores, like Rotten Tomatoes wise, everything's doing great. It's the aftermath. People start picking things apart, and then the rumors spread like
Mhm.
almost right now.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And
yeah.
I just want to point out, I think one thing that all the Snyderverse fan people, and you can hate me down in the comments if you want to, forget is the Snyderverse ended because it wasn't successful. People weren't going and watching it. Right?
Yeah.
I love the Snyderverse. I will if Henry Cavill does come back as Superman in a movie, I will go and fucking watch it. I absolutely love it. All right. Mantis
Yeah.
many times he's his favorite Superman. I will absolutely go and watch it. But all the people who are bitching about it now, like there wasn't that much support when it was out, and that's why it failed. Right now, I
Yeah.
know years later, the Snyder cut of the Justice League, there was a big rally, and that finally got that made. But when it was out in fucking theaters and on DVD, people didn't fucking support the Snyderverse, and it fucking failed. Do you think if it was wildly successful, they would have just stopped?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like bringing the rookie back up. You had your shot at the big leagues, bro. You fucking struck out. Unlucky for you, I guess. You're going to be part of the double A, North Carolina Waves or whatever. Like you get one shot at this stuff in most of the time, and you're right. Like there's a big propensity for these Snyderverse, and it's a loud minority. Like we're not. It's we're not talking about this like it's this big movement
Movement, it moves a certain distance, then it stops, you see? A revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face.
of obnoxious people. It's a loud minority trying to stir up shit because they get engagement and they get money from Twitter. Like essentially that's what it is. And hopefully Zack Snyder's getting a bunch of that money now too for all the shitstorm that he's stirred up here. He's not stupid. Who knows? Maybe he'll use that money to make his next movie or whatever. Who knows?
Well, ironically,
Um,
so Netflix had kind of tweeted out something and showing the Superman and was talking about Black Adam, and they showed so again jumped on the bandwagon of, hey, let's get in there. Now I believe it's the CEO that of Netflix that put up, they have no interest in even putting in a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. So they aren't even going that route. They just wanted to kind of keep stirring the pot a little bit and
yeah.
get those rumors out there and get people, again, that harsh back and forth. That's what's getting the clicks. That's what's getting the views. Hopefully,
Yeah, in reality, most likely none of this means anything. It's not going to happen. Um, it would have to be. This is the thing. It's really hard to pick back up with the characters, the same characters, the same writers, the production, like again. Even let's just say where you left off. Like you said, it's not. They didn't really leave off on a high note, quite frankly. Um, and again, there was some extenuating circumstances with the Justice League. Don't get me wrong, but let's be real here. Like you said, none of those movies really did well at the box office. So, um, they didn't do terrible. It just they didn't. It wasn't like, oh my god, we can't let this fail. Blah blah. Right. So, one last bit of news as well to tack on to the end is another kind of rumor that maybe not even a rumor because we kind of discussed a little bit of this about who we think the next big baddie is going to be in the DCU.
real quick,
Yeah.
to answer your question from earlier, because I just had it up on my screen here. James Gunn in November will be 3 years as the head of DC.
Okay, a lot can change in a script in that time. So yeah, Brave and the Bold wouldn't hesitate that stuff changed.
Sorry,
Already.
I wanted to make sure I hit that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like we have another video talking about what we thought the next big baddie is going to be because we didn't really get one. And when we say big baddie, we mean like multi-universe alien
World
type
ending.
creature. Yeah, type of threat. And the rumors again out in this next Superman movie, that's what is going to be happening or close to it, right? We thought it would be Brainiac, but which is still in play because James Gunn did say that although he likes the character, Darkseid is not in the cards, at least at this point. He cited he looks too similar to Thanos. Using him is a necessary thing. And I was telling Cal before we started that Darkseid is that character that needs build up. That's why them rushing into even Doomsday, I put Doomsday in this category too. Doomsday or Darkseid is this character, especially Darkseid. You can't just drop him in from like after throwing a symbol on the ground in another movie. I feel like it has to be that Thanos buildup where there's this rumors and you see in credit scenes and in the other movies like Marvel did it. I think you have to do something similar to that for Darkseid to give him his due. And again, we've talked about this, especially we're getting into some of the backstory of Darkseid in our comic book videos, but there's so much cool shit that they could do with Apocalypse, with all of the new Genesis, like all that cool shit. They could really do some awesome stuff with it if they took their time, thought it out, and use that. And hopefully that's why James Gunn is just like, no, it's just not in the cards right now, right? It plus again, there's that recency bias too. Like Zack Snyder blew his wad with Darkseid, right? In the DCEU, and it's recency bias there. And I wouldn't even want to try to do that because that's just one more thing that they're going to try to compare James Gunn to Zack Snyder's Darkseid right now, right? It just wouldn't even want to entertain the idea. So I get it.
Yeah, I could see using, one of your other big baddies to set up Darkseid, right? Like, oh, there's apocalyptic weapons on Earth now, or there's this, because, like I know in like the cartoon series, Bruno Mannheim and Intergang, Desaad and a couple of the other ones, they're giving apocalyptic technology to these street gangs and, helping them. And then it's like, okay, where's all this coming from? Then it kind of leads to Darkseid. Something like that would be awesome. But we'll see. I feel like if we're kind of closing statement here is that the DCU is fine. Now, I'm not saying that just if they do get sold that things couldn't take a drastic change.
Oh,
They have that ability. They could easily just say,
instantly.
you know what, we're fucking firing both James Gunn, Peter Safran. Like, that's possible. But as far as if everything were to maintain, given that it's been successful, maybe not a smashing success, but it's made its money back. It's been successful. It's got good ratings. I foresee even if they sell that they'll continue on down this line. We'll continue the next several years, especially since Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow's already filmed, you know, lanterns and all that. You have too many projects already. You're not gonna do a flat. Well, I mean, fuck. The reason they released the Flash movie was it was already made, and they weren't gonna dump a couple $100 million, even though none of that went to the CG budget. Um,
No.
so it's like I feel like we'll still get that. Like we'll get at least something, and then maybe after in a few years things will change. Who the fuck knows? At that point, I'm gonna be too old to care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I'll
gonna
have to watch. Yeah, you keep watching it for the first time every weekend, right? It's the best part about just losing your mind.
Alzheimer's can't be all bad. You get a chance to meet new people every day.
All right, guys. That is all of the current news. We will keep on top of the news as the rumors come out, just like we did before. We will bring you the videos, kind of breaking them down and getting your opinions on it. While you're giving your opinions on it in the comics in the comment section. We've been doing too many comics. I got one here. It's bad. In there, you might as well go ahead if you've made it this far. Give the video a like, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on all of the comments and news and comic books that we are doing, because we got a lot of that going on right now. The DCKO events. Do what?
I'd say there's so many of them. There's so many. If you guys love comic books, you really need to look at our comic book series videos. That there's so many of them.
Not only are we doing the Absolute series, and Mantis has got the ever favorite Absolute Batman going on, but we are right now going through the DCKO event. That is a 24-issue event spanning Titans, the Superman, Flash, and the Justice League Unlimited, as well as DC Night Fight getting ready to come out here in November. So have the bell notifications clicked so you will get alerted when we release new videos. Mantis, do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I am good. Just we appreciate everyone's support. Keep watching, keep liking, sharing, all the fun stuff.
All right. That is going to do it for us on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until next time, guys, we'll see you then.
Later.